Indestructible Gaming. Choose your character. Musketshot. Mr. K. Let the review begin.
Hello and welcome to Indestructible Gaming and More. I am Musketshot. Alongside me is my co-host, Mr. K. Mr. K, hello.
Welcome back, everyone, on another fine day.
Yeah. So this week we are talking about an indie game called
VVVVVV.
There's 6 V's there. So this is a game developed by a Terry Kavanagh, and this was a game released in 2010. It's on Steam, which we played it on Steam, but I believe it's also on Nintendo DS and Switch. Did you see it on either one of those? I know
it is on the Nintendo 3DS. I am not sure about the Switch, but I will believe you on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also on the phone, which I bought and have also played.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's a single-player 2D puzzle platformer, and you get to play as Captain Viridian. And it's actually based on an earlier game design by Terry called Sine Wave Ninja, which I'd be interested to see what Sine Wave Ninja is like, and some past Commodore 64 games that were sort of inspirations to creating this game. And VVVVVV, or I'm going to say V to the 6, is kind of very much like a, very much 8-bit type game, single player type game. It's so you can definitely tell if you've played like Commodore 64 games.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that style.
Very pretty,
game.
though.
Yeah. The developer for the game, Bennett Foddy, created every room name. There's a lot of different rooms you go into. There's
about 400 of them.
Yeah, so this person created every room name, which is pretty cool.
Each one of them will have a specific name to them.
And then there's a soundtrack that can be purchased too, because there's a lot of different music in this game,
which is pretty good. To be honest.
Is funny. The soundtrack is called PP PP PP. So 6 P's, and it's done by Magnus Paulsen. So this is this was the first game that was sold commercially by Kavanagh. So this is kind of a good start for the developer. So a very, very interesting 8-bit game. So you want to give the plot of the game?
Well, the plot of the game is, like you said, you play as Viridian, and you are with your humble crew when eventually your ship starts to malfunction and you go into this random dimension, scattering you and your fellow crewmates across the dimension. With you and your ability to turn yourself upside down and into like an anti-gravity kind of way of going around, you can go through puzzles in different rooms to find your various crewmates, get back together, and hopefully escape the dimension.
Yeah, it's the dimension. It's VVVVVV V to the 6 is the dimension. I couldn't spit it out. It's the dimension name, so that's where the name of this game comes from. So I had to look that up to find out why is it called that.
Who knows? You could have just liked the letter V.
Yeah, right. And so there's 8 main levels. Again, 400 individual rooms that you can go in, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, that's pretty insane.
And it's a platformer, but different style. You're not jumping or running or anything like that. Everything is moving, by you either flipping upside down and walking on
the ceiling,
something upside down, or going back down and flipping back down to normal.
There will be various things you can go on to. There's platforms that'll move. There's platforms that'll disappear. And then sometimes there's just an abyss you can just go up forever until you hit something.
Yeah, there's lots of different spikes and things that you have to try to avoid. Other things that you have to try to avoid.
Like there's words you have to avoid, like the word obey or various other words.
Yep. And the crew is probably, I guess, like one crew member in each level that you got to go find.
Yeah, and each level is each in the levels. It's not you go to the next level and then you go to the next level. It's kind of open ended.
Mm-hmm.
You can go basically wherever you want in a sort of fashion and go around and adventure a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and there's basically portals or that you can go into the portals and kind of
teleport yourself around.
To different areas on the map. You can look at a map and kind of see where you are, see what, and see where there's other teleportals and go to those teleportals, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of checkpoints in this game, which is really helpful because the game is very difficult.
The game does save every time you go to a checkpoint or a teleporter.
Yeah, which is great. The game also has a couple features in the settings where you can, speed up the gameplay or slow it down, depending on your preference.
And even if you got enough of the game, there are user-created levels which you can go into and have fun with, which is really cool to add.
Yeah, so if you can create a level, you can actually, there's a way, it'll tell you how to upload a level or something like that, where you can create, upload your own level if you can create it. And there's a setting in this also too, if you are sick of dying and you just want to explore a little bit more, you could put it on basically an indestructible setting. That will,
however, get rid of save points. So it's a straight run. You got to do it through if you're going to do that.
Yeah. So, but it's pretty unique type of style going up and down. It is tough, like you were saying that. There's certain areas where you'll die a lot.
Yeah. But thank God for those checkpoints.
Yeah, that's one of the things I when I was looking at some reviews from people, they were saying that thank God for the checkpoints because you die an awful lot in this game.
And usually when you think of checkpoints, you think of like, oh, you die and you're going to see a loading screen. This does it automatically, puts you right back in. And even if you're in the same room where you died in and the checkpoint happens to be, the platforms will not reset and they'll just continue where they were.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good sometimes.
Yeah. One of the things I thought was interesting about the developer, it was that he focused on, more visually interesting game than trying to make it like more high tech, I guess. So
yeah, and I will say he did it. He really did it. It looks really nice.
Yeah,
and it really complements the music.
Right. There's, I guess, a sad elephant in one of the rooms. I don't know. Did you come across it?
Not yet. I don't think so. The map is pretty big.
Yeah, it's a huge map. But the sad elephant, I guess, is in a room and it has a single tear dropping from its eye. And I guess the elephant doesn't serve a purpose other than that if your Captain Viridian stands next to the elephant long enough, he becomes sad. Because your Captain Viridian will have like a smile on his face a lot of times, but if he gets, sometimes if he's looking for something or doing something, and sometimes his face could be.
He looks sad if he dies or another crewmate dies in the various. I forgot what they're called, but you do the missions where the people follow you.
Yeah,
I forgot what they're called, but that will happen from time to time.
Yeah,
where you will have to lead your people through an area in which it's kind of like they follow you only when you hit the ground. When you're on the ceiling, they won't move.
Yeah,
so you have to be careful where you drop and where you go.
Yeah, and that was
another gameplay element.
Yeah, that was difficult. That's where I left off was when I got one of them. I had person was following me, and where I was able to go up, they obviously couldn't. So they have to like jump on a platform that's going up and down. And I was having a heck of a time trying to get them to walk on that platform.
As much as the game is difficult, it's really good.
Yeah, it is. It is a fun game. I kind of like the up and down, going up on the ceiling and falling back down. It you can have your character just keep flying up or flying down sometimes without even realizing it, or you can just let it, just let them go, or try to steer them and stop at certain areas.
Speaking of steering, now the phone version you'd think would probably be drastically different from the main version, but honestly, it's the same exact thing. The controls are pretty simple, and you can change them from 3 different variations. One being in the invisible controls, where you just you move your thumb left around the screen, and then you press the right side with your right thumb to make them go anti-gravity. And then there's the second mode where it plays like his first game does, which is very interesting. And then there's the third one that I've been using, which shows an on-screen left and right.
Yeah.
Because with the first one, I will say, as a complaint, sometimes it can be a little finicky when it's invisible. Sometimes I would go left, and then he would just stop, and then I would die by a spike or something like that.
Yeah.
But with the on-screen left and right kind of overlay, it helps out a bunch.
Yeah. And there's some time trials that are in the game as well. I haven't tried any of those yet. Just trying to get through most of the game is a lot. There's also, you can change the soundtrack of the game. So there's one area where you can actually listen to all the different, they look like TVs, and you can click on the TV and then kind of hear the music to see which, kind of music you like, which soundtrack you like. There's also energy trinkets that are in the game. There's like 20 of them to collect, and they're scattered all about the different maps. Which
it adds another level exploration so that you have a reason to look around the map.
Right.
And as well as those, there are also little comms you can find and interact with, which will also gain you more story. So you can discover more about where you are and what's been going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the gameplay was pretty easy and simple.
Pretty straightforward.
Considering how hard the game is. It's everything was just arrow keys, and then the space bar for, basically, certain things, and then the enter button for other certain things. And so I was pretty happy with the controls on that. I didn't think it was real difficult to play. So the one of the things I saw was that it might have been in one of the reviews, somebody was sort of comparing this, and I haven't played the game, but you've played it, Super Meat Boy.
Nah, I wouldn't think they're similar.
Yeah. In
terms of toughness, maybe
that's what they were trying to get.
But with Super Meat Boy is a time-based game, and you collect bandages, but you have to do it within the time limit, and that will give you medals and all that stuff. Or whatever. I haven't played Meat Boy in years.
Yeah.
But with VVVVVV, or V to the 6th power, pretty much. You have unlimited tries. Super Meat Boy does it too, but I feel like with VVVVV, it doesn't infuriate you as much because it just automatically loads you in, and you can just go right back into it. And eventually you'll get through it. Eventually. Yep. And I think VVVVV is honestly, I actually like it a lot more than Super Meat Boy.
Do you? Okay. And I know you like Super Meat Boy a lot.
Oh yeah, that game's hard. That game is brutally hard. But with VVVVV, it's I feel like it's a lot more fluid and a lot more entertaining to play with especially with the anti-gravity controls.
Yeah.
Because all you do is Super Meat Boy is run, jump, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, in this game, there's a lot of, using your timing and how you get onto certain platforms and when you jump off them. And
sometimes it can make you feel very smart.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing with games. I do like it when video games make you feel smart.
Yeah. Because there's some stuff that's like one of the rooms that you go in, you get in there right away, and then all of a sudden there's a car coming at you, and you gotta quickly make that move down and then back up to avoid getting
each level pretty much has their own gimmick.
Yeah, it's
like one of them is a room there's a bunch of rooms where basically each time you go to the side of the screen, it'll just bring you somewhere else in the part of the level. Like, say I went to the left side and then I moved to the right, and there was like a part of the screen where you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And you go there, and all of a sudden you'd show up on the top of that screen and then fall down. Then you all of a sudden be on the side of the other screen.
Yeah.
It's very fun though. And you would think that you would get lost too, but once you enter a level, you pretty much know you're in a level because the levels are linear.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a straightforward shot. It's not, you kind of are in this open world that goes into each of these levels.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're there, you can also explore the whole world.
Right.
Which is very good.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to explore, that's for sure. Now, have you played a game similar to this where you basically doing a lot of anti-gravity movement, platforming type stuff?
I don't think so. I mean, in the back of my mind, I feel like there's one, but I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But in terms for iconic indie games, this is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Very iconic. A lot of people know about this one, and I'm more than happy to review it here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a first for me. I don't remember if I've ever played a game like that where, the main movement is,
it's very unique.
Basically moving up and down on the ceilings or ground and stuff like that to avoid stuff. It's kind of cool. And it is, and as like we said, it's frustrating at times. It's difficult, but even though you die, it is. I found myself just constantly retrying because you're just like, all right, I'm gonna get it this time, and all right, and you don't have to go, like you said, you don't have to go far to come back to that level. It just respawns you right there, because there's so many checkpoints. It's like, wow, which is so cool about it. But so thank God that they did that. They put a lot of those checkpoints in, because I probably would have given up on the game, but if that wasn't the case. But yeah. So anything else that you want to mention about the game?
All in all, I think I'm gonna say my final review, pretty much, because I'm all out. Because we pretty much talked about everything on it without spoiling anything.
Yeah.
I think the game was very fun, tough, but I thought the music was very, very enjoyable to my ears. I loved the style it was in with all the different colors and all that. Very pretty game. And if you don't have a computer and have a phone, I highly recommend picking it up.
Yeah.
It was only I think close to $3. Definitely worth the money.
Was that on the phone, you're saying?
Yes. I saw it on the Play Store.
Okay.
I'm unsure if it's on the Apple Store, but you are definitely more than welcome to check.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a computer, buy it on a computer. Either one doesn't really matter. They're both the same pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have to say it was a really good game. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm not to say it's one of my favorite games because I just liked it that much. I'm happy I actually played it because I've been wanting to for a couple of years now, but I never gotten the chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to say that I finally played it.
Yeah, we bought
an iconic game.
And we bought it when it was on sale at Steam for their summer sale or something like that. So we saw it and we were like, oh, we should get it now while it's
I'll just say I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. Okay,
wow. Excellent. Yeah, I like this game. I'm not a huge platformer fan, but I do like the game. I think the music is good. A lot of different music. The 8-bit style of the game. When I read that they were inspired by the Commodore 64 games, it definitely reminds me of that.
Definitely shows. And
having a Commodore 64 when I was a kid, yeah, it kind of brings back those memories. So it was a lot of fun to play. I own the game now, so I will continue to keep playing the game and see how much further I can get with it. So my final score would be an 8 out of 10. I thought it was good. And, again, it's difficult, but I do like the fact that you can change the speed of it, which I did drop the speed a little bit, and it did make it a little bit easier for, if you're not as quick with your fingers on the keyboard, it does make it a little bit easier to get past certain things, so you don't die like as much as you would if you do it on normal speed. But so that was pretty cool option in there as well. But yeah, so that was it.
Yep.
So an 8 for me.
So what's going to be the next game?
So next week we're gonna play a small indie game from one of the folks that's following us, and we're following them on Twitter. It's a game on itch.io called Death Gaze. Sort of they like making a lot of sort of psychological horror, science fiction type games. This one looks kind of interesting, where you have to, I guess, stay in the shadows pretty much as possible to get through stuff. So
it'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll try that out and see how that is and give our review on that next week. So that is all we have this week. So definitely try V to the 6 power at some point if you get a chance. Take a look and see if it comes on sale. Definitely
I recommend it. VVVVVV.
Yeah.
Lots of V's.
Yeah. So any other final words there, Mr. K?
Not that I know of, other than, did we say we hit 500 yet?
I know last week we were I think 1 or 2 away, but we did hit it. We did hit over. We are now over 500 downloads. So thank you very much for.
Thank you all. It's highly appreciated. Definitely
taking the time to listen to us and download our episodes. We're not experts. I'm sure there's a lot of other video game reviews by people that are more expert at the games or work for some of the large companies that do video game reviews.
Oh yeah, but what matters is we're putting our time and passion into this, and we're having fun.
So thank you for doing that. The big thing is that we're focusing on a lot of the indie games. Some of these indie games you probably have never heard of before in your entire life. Some of them you have. So hopefully we're opening up doors to some new interesting games to you.
To some new worlds you've never been before.
Yep, absolutely.
And with that is all. Stay indestructible, everyone.
Yes, so have a good one, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, peace.
Thanks, bye.
Game over.
Hey, it's Mr. K here. Hope you enjoy the show. You can listen to us more on Spotify, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. And you can also find us at Facebook and Twitter. All right, guys, stay indestructible. Peace.